For this, we have that at a raffle, 1,500 tickets are sold at $2 for each of 4 prizes of $500, $250, $150, and $75. Find the expected value of buying one ticket and interpret its meaning. What we have to see here is a little bit more subtle than in that last case. Technically speaking, if we want to be sure, we may want to make a distribution for our values first. But if we're careful, we can see where these things are going and we can skip that half step. I will say, though, that as you're practicing with a question like this, it may be a good idea to make the distribution yourself just so you have a sense. So we'll add in that extra half step where the first thing that we want to do here is understand what our potential events are. And from this, we should know that because at every point you're paying $2, all of the prizes have an actual value of $2 less. So that $75 prize is actually worth $73. The $500 is worth $498, and so on. So our potential values are $498. $248 for 2 below $250, $148 for 2 below $150, $73, and the hidden last prize here, that is, you don't win anything and just end up having paid $2 to enter the raffle. Where this is probably the most likely outcome. And we're going to see that it actually is in terms of our values. From this, we need to interpret how these prizes work, where we are told that 1,500 tickets are sold and there's only one each. So for the $498, if we want to get its probability, that's 1 in 1,500. For the $248, it's also 1 over 1,500. 148 occurs 1 over 1,500, and 73 occurs 1 over 1,500, where the last prize, the loser prize, as it were, occurs 1,496 times out of 1,500. The vast majority of people are losing. Otherwise, this raffle wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, because then it would just be a charity, wouldn't it? So here, once we have this set up, we can then turn it in to get our expected value in terms of sums of probabilities and outcomes. And I should be clear that that's not 2, that's -2, because you're losing money. So we'll have 1 over 1,500 times $498. I'm just going to write as $498 to save myself that half second of writing. Then 1 over 1,500 multiplied by 248. The hand is just trying to get ahead of itself at every turn. And then another 1 over 1,500 multiplied by 148. Plus a 1 over 1,500 multiplied by 73, and then finally plus a -2 times a value very, very close to 1. 1,496 over 1,500. And don't ask me why I switched the order there at the end. This is not really a good reason. It just did. Doesn't make that much of a difference, though. Point is, take all this, multiply those numbers together, add them up, or make your calculator do all the work for you, and what you'll end up with is an expected value of -1.35. That is, if you enter the raffle, you should expect to lose $1.35. It's not guaranteed, but that's probably what's going to happen.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
And the last thing we're going to see here is a bit on standard deviation and variance, our basic measures of variation in this context.